Alright, hey guys, welcome to my round 5 preview / predictions. Please ignore the mo. I lost a bet because I got a mate that's a Souths fan, so every time they play we do a little bet. And this year, well not this year, but this game I lost because obviously Souths beat the Dogs this week, so I had to shave a mo for a week. So please ignore the mo. Alright, look, outfield videos, I want to make more, but anyone that sort of lives in the Western Sydney area knows that it has currently been hammering down with rain. I'm currently recording this Thursday afternoon, like just before the footy starts. So this will probably be up on Friday, and on said Friday, which would be today, it's 150 mil of rain or something like that, right? Like it's meant to hammer down. So unfortunately, nothing I can do there. So the best I can do is get out some face-to-face stuff for you guys. So maybe you'll see something in the future. If there's no rain on Saturday, so tomorrow, I'll hopefully be able to get down to the fields if it's sunny, and then I can make some stuff then. But other than that, this is unfortunately all we're going to have to go with for now. So with that said, let's jump straight into my round 5 predictions. Storm 28, Broncos 16. Right. This game's pretty simple for me. Let me quickly pop it up for you. The reason I think this is going to be the case is right here. Cameron Munster, Jerome Hughes. Look, I think no Walsh really stunts the Broncos' attack, which you need against Melbourne, because Melbourne's defense is just so strong. But yeah, look, obviously Broncos won. Let me just quickly get up on the end here. Broncos beat the Cowboys last round, I believe it was. Yeah, beat Cowboys. Honestly, that's not that impressive. If you go back and watch that game, the amount of times the Cowboys just dropped the ball on their line and gave the Broncos a free shot to score was ridiculous. So I think that scoreline doesn't necessarily show how good the Broncos were, if you will. All right, and then Storm had the bye, actually, yeah. So Storm are coming into this game fresh, down at AAMI. It's down at AAMI, isn't it? It's down at AAMI Park, yeah. AAMI Park. This is a no-brainer for me. I think Storm win this comfortably by 2 tries. I think Storm go off to a belter, like go up by maybe like 18. Broncos fight their way back in, but then Storm just carry on and finish the game off there. Honestly, for me, yeah, very easy Storm win in this one. Bulldogs 14, Roosters 26. Yeah, look, this one again, a pretty simple one. As much as I love my Bulldogs, I don't see us winning this one, especially on the Friday night, especially in the conditions that it's going to be. Look, to put it simple, our forward pack just isn't strong. Like, Bulldogs forward pack just isn't strong enough to get that roll on, especially in the wet conditions, whereas the Roosters forward pack is going to be. Let me quickly get it up here for you. Boop. So this right here will be the game changer. Lindsay Collins and Jarrod up front, they're so strong. In the wet conditions, they're just going to steamroll through. It's going to be hard to tackle them. It's going to be hard enough to tackle them as it is. So in the wet conditions, getting them running onto the ball, it's going to be very hard for the Bulldogs to handle. Look, kick out, if he's on, he can be an absolute game changer, but because he does play a bit out wider, in the wet conditions, it is a risk throwing that ball out to him. So look, if Kikau's on, then by all means he could be a game changer, because again, in the wet conditions, having someone of his size and his speed running at you can be difficult. But I just think the conditions, I think they suit Roosters a little bit better, unfortunately. I do think this is going to be a good game, because both teams do like to throw the ball around, so they won't be able to. Like, obviously, you've got Sam Walker, who loves throwing the ball around. Drew Hutchinson back against his old club already in round 5. Burton's bombs will be very interesting in this game. How Dom Young and Daniel Tupou and Teddy handle them. So that'll be really interesting. But yeah, I think I think the conditions will be the main factor as to why the Roosters win this one. So yeah, I think Roosters win this one pretty comfortably, 26-14. Unfortunately, Knights 24, Dragons 20. Are we in focus? Yes, we are in focus. Okay. Look, another one where I think, honestly, just the conditions will be the deciding factor, really. Again, I'll quickly bring it up. Boom. Yeah, look, I just think I think the experience within the Knights forwards will just be a bit too much for the Dragons. This is all coming down to depending on the weather conditions, honestly. Like if it's sunny, like dry track, I think Dragons win this, but as far as I'm aware, it is meant to be hammering down just as much up in Newcastle as it is down here in Western Sydney, Western Sydney. So, yeah, look, this is all depending on conditions. So if it is raining like it's supposed to be, I do think the Knights win it a bit more because I think the Knights are a bit more traditional in the way they play. Like they get their forwards hitting the line hard and then they play off the back of it. Whereas so far this season, Dragons haven't been afraid to really throw the ball around, and throwing the ball around in these wet conditions, when so far this season they have had a mistake or two in them, I think that will be eventually their detriment. I think the weather conditions will slow Sloan down a little bit. He won't be able to take off as much as he will. Same with Kalen Ponga. I think Ponga will play much more of a organising role, which I think will help the likes of Cogger and Hastings. Which will then free up the likes of your Gaggais, your Bradman Bests, and all that to then attack. I just, I don't think the Dragons have that really. Like, the Dragons, obviously they've got Ben Hunt, who's arguably one of the top halves in the competition. Like, by far one of the top halves in the competition. But I just, in these conditions, I think Ben Hunt will need a little bit of help. And I don't think the rest of his spine has that experience to push a team forward in the not-so-great conditions. So, yeah, I think Knights win this one 24-20. Again, that is purely if the conditions are raining. If it's rain during the day and it's like sunny in the afternoon and it's like a sort of dry track where the ball's not too wet, Dragons can very easily win this game. But, yeah, purely based on how the weather's meant to be, I think Knights will take this one in the end. Rabbitohs 10, Warriors 24. Look, this one's a pretty simple one. I think Warriors are going to steamroll the Rabbitohs. Going back to last week, Rabbitohs only just beat a very poor Bulldogs side. All right? If they were versing any other team last week that had any sort of attacking composure, Rabbitohs honestly lose that game by 20 plus. Honestly, they did not play well last week. They have not played well at all this season. I think Demetrio is going to be in the firing lines after this week. I think they're not going to play well. Especially losing Alex Johnson, that experience in the back, like especially coming out from their own half, losing that is massive, especially against a team like the Warriors, where their back three will be just charging that ball back full pace. All right. Yeah, look, honestly, just team-wise, just Warriors forwards, superior to the Rabbitohs. Warriors bench, superior to the Rabbitohs. So once these main forwards come off, all right, and these ones all start jumping on, I think it's just lights out for the Rabbitohs, honestly. Cody Walker has done barely anything this year, right? Like, I don't understand what the hype is around Cody Walker anymore. Don't get me wrong, he was a good player a couple of years ago, but ever since Adam Reynolds left, he's been average at best. You know, he's not a game manager like people seem to think he is and people seem to want him to be. Like, he's not. He never has been. He's always been a get the ball and play eyes up footy, but he can't do that without a good half next to him. It's as simple as that. It's the same as like Matt Burton at the Dogs. Eyes up footy player, can't do anything unless there's a half organising next to him. All right, so look, I don't know why everyone keeps looking to Cody Walker to be the answer because he's never been. All right, the answer's always been the half next to him organising, letting Cody play his natural game. All right, Latrell, again, like I said a couple of weeks ago for Latrell, just all the off-field stuff about him apparently considering retirement, all this sort of stuff, like, his head's not going to be there. Just, it's as simple as that. His head is not going to be in this game, and Rabbitohs need his head to be in the game. And when it's not, they lose. And his head's not going to be in it, so they're going to lose. Yeah, so, honestly, very simple Warriors win. Not because of anything amazing that the Warriors are going to do, but just because I think the Rabbitohs are just going to continue to keep shooting themselves in the foot. It's as simple as that. I've been thinking about making a Rabbitohs-specific video for a while now about the issues going on at the club and just getting people's opinions. But yeah, look, I just think all the off-field stuff for the Rabbitohs is going to continue to sit on them and continue to stuff them up. And this is just going to be, honestly, just a routine Warriors win, unfortunately, for any Rabbitohs fans. Manly 16, Panthers 28. All right, honestly, this one could go either way. It depends which Manly side shows up, to be honest. If we get the Manly of last week, where there was 7 or 8 errors, then they get pumped by 40 right, against a strong Penrith side. But if there's a bit more control in their game, then there's no reason Manly can't win it. Look, I do think Panthers still win just because of the return of this man here, Fisher Harris. Getting, like, Jesus Christ, I can't speak right now. Manly don't have the strongest forward pack in the world, so having Fisher Harris and Leota just steamrolling at you, I think it will eventually cause Manly to crack. But, look, right here, the back 5. This is where it all is for Manly. If they come out firing, if they can hold the ball, then it will cause trouble for Penrith, because there is just a lot of speed and a lot of skill in that back 5 for Manly. So, if they can get firing early, there's no reason they can't beat Penrith. But I just, I think Penrith's defense is just going to be too strong. And I think Penrith's forward pack is just going to be a bit too much for Manly to handle. They're going to get too tired in the middle, which is going to mean their outside backs aren't getting the ball in good enough field position. So they're not going to be able to attack the way they want to. So, yeah, look, I think Penrith's forward pack wins this game for them. And I think it's going to be a routine Penrith win. Dolphins 28, Tigers 24. Yeah, look, I think this one has the potential to be game of the round, honestly. Two sides that have just come off very good wins for themselves. Both very attacking teams. Up in Suncorp, where it's probably going to be a very dry track, where especially the backs, like the back 5s of each side, can really just go at each other like full speed. Look, I think honestly, the way this game works, I think the Tigers forwards are a bit stronger than the Dolphins, but I think the Dolphins backs are stronger than the Tigers, honestly. So I think early on, Tigers will win the possession battle and the field position battle. But I think as the game goes on, and as the bench players come on, and as the backs sort of start to play themselves into the game, we'll see Dolphins sort of take control of the game. But yeah, look, honestly, could easily go either way. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Excuse me. Yeah, look. Honestly, could go either way. I think, like, neither team's spine is really that strong, honestly. Look, obviously, Appy is a big win for the Tigers in this game, because just having that control in the middle of the ruck can make such a big difference. But I think the back 5 for the Dolphins will ultimately determine this game. I think Jermaine Asako is going to have a really big game this week. I think he's going to score 2 or 3 tries, honestly. I think he's going to have an absolute cracker of a game. Hammer coming off his second half last week where he absolutely killed it. Herbie Farnworth's a superstar. He's always going to have a good game. Bostock had a really good game, so he's going to be playing off the back of that. Yeah, look, I think the inexperience in a couple of the Tigers' backs will be the defining factor. I think they'll make a couple of mistakes in defense. That'll give the Dolphins easy access to the try line, and then Tigers will constantly fight their way back in, but always just be just that little bit shy of getting the winning try. So yeah, I think Dolphins win this one 28-24. I think this one's going to be a very high-scoring game. Like, both teams moving the ball around. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch for the neutral. Cowboys 32, Titans 10. Look, yeah, I think this one's pretty obvious. I think it's going to be a routine Cowboys win, because Titans have just been absolutely shocking this year. I think most people are expecting Titans to get the spoon. The only sort of good thing for the Titans this week is Jaden Campbell's back. Look, just me personally, I think AJ Brimson still needs to be fullback. That's just me. Or at the very least, he needs to be in the halves somewhere. He does not get the ball in his hands nearly enough for the level of talent that he is as a player. But yeah, look, obviously Titans don't have David Fafita. They don't have Tino. They have no go forward. They got Beau Fermor, who's good, but obviously this is his first season back after a year off, so can't expect much. But honestly, for me, the interesting thing is how in God's name are the Cowboys sitting in third right now? Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the Cowboys have not been playing like a top four. Like, I know it's only round 5, but usually by now this is where the ladder sort of starts to take its shape. A little bit. So the fact that the Cowboys are sitting up in third, I just don't understand it. Like, have they just had an extremely lucky start to the season? Like what? So they versed Dolphins first, I think it was, where Dolphins were missing players for the first round. Then I think it was it the Knights? Was it where they only won by 1? Let me quickly check. I think they versed the Knights in round 2. Yeah, they only beat the Knights by 1 in round 2. Round 3, they versed the Dragons, which, Dragons are very hot and cold. Like, and even then, they didn't necessarily beat the Dragons convincingly. Dragons beat themselves because of all the errors that they made, right? And then last week, they got pumped by a Broncos side that wasn't fully fit. So, I don't know what it is about the Cowboys. I can't tell if they've just had a really soft start to the season, and give it 2 or 3 weeks, they'll quickly fall down the ladder. But, look, their soft start to the season, I guess, if you want to call it that, continues where they're versing the Titans, who are just completely off the pace, completely out of their depth at the moment. So, yeah, look, I think this is just going to be a very easy, routine Cowboys win, unfortunately, for the Titans. I think it's going to be a long season for the Titans for the rest of this year, unfortunately, for them. Raiders 20, Eels 26. Look, honestly, this is a game I think can go either way. Neither team really has been sort of in their form, really. I believe Raiders lost last week after leading 18-0. So, and obviously Para lost to the Tigers. So, look, I think the first 15-20 minutes of this game is going to be great because both forward packs are really strong. But again, I think the big thing is once the interchange starts coming on for the Raiders, like I don't rate their subs. It's as simple as that. It's what I thought last week. I thought that the Raiders would start off firing last week, and then once their subs came on, they'd have no go forward in the middle and they'd lose all their momentum, which is what happened. Like once Papali'i and Tapani go off, they have nothing going forward. You could say the same for Parramatta. Right, once I'm surprised. Let me quickly bring it up. I'm surprised Paulo is starting, as opposed to Sorry, I just had to fix something over there. But I'm surprised Paulo is starting as opposed to coming off the bench again. I feel like if Paulo was coming off the bench, Para would have a much stronger chance of winning. I do still think Parramatta. Jesus Christ. I do still think Parramatta will edge it, but I feel like if Paulo was coming off the bench against the against the interchange, just his offloads would just run them ragged. Honestly, I think that's what would happen. But Paulo starting is very interesting. I think Ryan Madison will have a big game. I think Hopgood's due for a big game as well. I think Dylan Brown is going to absolutely pop off. I don't think... is he on the same side as Fogarty? I believe he's on the same side as Fogarty. I don't think Fogarty's going to be able to keep up with him, to be honest. I think Dylan Brown is just going to run rings around him and just create space for the likes of Simonson and Russell. Or, who would it be? Would it be Simonson and Sevo? I don't remember which sides are. Whoever it is, whoever's on that left edge with Dylan Brown is just going to have a field day. Because I think Dylan Brown is just going to burn Fogarty every opportunity he gets. Look, I think for Parrot, it really comes down to which Raiders side shows up. If a Raiders side shows up that's making errors, isn't strong off the bench, then Parrot definitely win. But honestly, this is a toss-up for me. Honestly, the main reason I tipped Para is because I didn't want to have a round where I just tipped the favourite every single game. But watch every other team watch me get every single one right, except for this one where the favourites would win again. But yeah, look, honestly, that's the only reason I've tipped Para, is just because I don't want to have a week where I'm always picking the favourites, because I just don't think that's any fun, really. But yeah, look, I do think this game can go either way. If Para's attack can switch on, then they can absolutely dominate Raiders, but we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. But with that said, guys, that is my round 5 predictions. Let me know yours in the comments below. This video will probably be out Friday. So the Storm Broncos game will have already been played. So hopefully I got that prediction right. But who knows? But yeah, look, just before I go, I've mentioned in a couple videos, I do have a Discord. Link for it is in the description, where I just sort of... Here, let me get it up for you guys. I'll give you guys a little sneak preview. Okay, let's do that. Let's do this. Change it over here. But yeah, so I got like a little Discord here where like people show clips of themselves goal kicking and stuff like that. Like just little stuff like this. You know, talk footy and stuff like that. Just like little stuff like that. Obviously, like whenever I post it. But yeah, look, if you're interested in that, there'll be a link for it in the description. But yeah, look, until then, guys, have a good one. And yeah, take it easy.